Sal Paolantonio. Surprises there to you?
Oh, no, definitely not a surprise. I think when Bill Parcells traded the #1 pick, it was clear that he wasn't going to get Darrell Russell, didn't want to pay Darrell Russell that $7 million signing bonus at the top, didn't think it was worth it, that somewhere along the line in the second or third round, he was going for a defensive tackle. If he started the day thinking that Rick Terry was going to be available with that first pick in the second round, he knew it was going to be an awesome day for him. So I think they're very happy to get Rick Terry in this spot. They're probably very surprised that the Philadelphia Eagles didn't take him with the 22nd pick, actually with the 25th pick after they traded with the Dallas Cowboys. Now let's go to Chris Fowler in the studio in Bristol.
Sal, thank you. We've got Ron Jaworski and Mike Gottfried here. The guy's the 5th defensive lineman out of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Rick Terry, a guy that you, frankly, like a lot better than Mel did in that description.
Well, I like him better than Russell. I really do. I think he's the best defensive tackle. I think New England's got a steal here. He's 6'4", 305 pounds. He gives you a push up the middle. The thing about him when you watch him on film is he gets off blocks, and that's what you want a defensive lineman to do, to get off blocks. He'll bull rush you. He'll spin. He'll slip. Well, he doesn't have many weaknesses.
You like him better than Darrell Russell, the player taken second overall by the... But that's a surprise because he's not going to cost... he's the bargain of the draft.
I tell you, he's a good football player.
What about him and the scheme in the Jets?
Well, he's going to fit in very nicely. When you look at their first-round pick as well with James Ferrier, you've really got 2 impact defensive players coming out early. And you look what the Jets will play defensively, the 4-3 alignment, and you look on the outside, and this would be James Ferrier, or it could be James Ferrier over here. This is a guy that is very strong at the point and can play him space out of this position. But you combine that with the Rick Terry, who could be in this position over 300 pounds to clog up the middle. The Jets are a better defense because of these 2 guys right now.
If he's even close to the player that Darrell Russell can be when Darrell Russell's at his best, and let's face it, you talk to opponents of him, and they'll tell you Darrell Russell, one play is blowing up a guard and destroying a ball carrier. The next 2 plays, he's on roller skates moving backwards. Every coach thinks you can push a button and get a guy to play every down. We'll have to see if they can do that to Darrell Russell, because he has a tremendous upside, and former teammates.
The graveyard's full of guys with potential. Ooh.
But you think Rick Terry has more than potential? He's been steady and consistent already.
I think he has great potential.
He goes to the Jets with pick number 31, who beef up their defensive line once more. Draft coverage continues from New York and here in Connecticut as the Falcons are on the clock with pick number 32 when you come back.
6 months is a long time.
I wish I could take you with me.
Yeah, me too.
Please, for me, all right? For the plane ride? Smile.
You love her? Oui?
Well, it's my sister. She's sick. Oh. Very sick.
Polaroid. See what develops.
Now exploding on pay-per-view. In the crime capital of the world, there's never a cop around when you need one. But when this cop's around, one is all you need. Get ready for the real thing. Jackie Chan, Super Cop. Now exploding on pay-per-view. Rated R.
When you really need a phone, this is the phone you need. The Fizz cellular phone from Philips Magnavox.
It now appears that Shaq is suffering from a neck injury.
Of course we're concerned. That's one valuable neck.
Shaq is suffering from taco neck syndrome, TNS. It's caused by his craving for delicious Taco Bell tacos. And he's getting worse with every neck-bending bite.
There's nothing funny about TNS.
It's not natural.
It's a conspiracy, man.
Get some more of those tacos.
I'd like to think of the Sports Center talent as one big team, a happy family, but with any team, there's rookies, and you got to haze them.
You got to earn your wings to be at this place.
Fake fan letters. I mean, he's still upset about that. Oh, how about the glue on the keyboard? And then there's the big one, teleprompter.
When we return, a very special interview with Seymour Heine.
It's tradition.
You don't question tradition?
No, not around here. You don't.
Well, with the second pick of the second round, we are back in New York at the 62nd annual selection meeting, and the Atlanta Falcons have taken defensive tackle Nathan Davis from Indiana. Mike Ditka, the New Orleans Saints, on the clock. Baltimore after that, Detroit after that, and he's relinquished the job at the podium. He's joined us. The commissioner of the National Football League, Paul Tagliabue, thank you for joining us.
Good to be here.
It's like a ball game here. I mean, especially Jets, Giants. I mean, now it's quieted down a little bit, but I mean, just think of what the draft used to be, a little agate in the newspaper. Now it's, I mean, this is new attendance records every year, plus the set behind it. It's quite a scene.
Well, it's a great scene, you know. It's the bridge to the next season. It's the connection between college football and the NFL. From my own personal perspective, to have these young players here, it's one of the highlights of the year.
Well, talk about young. We had a couple teams last year, Carolina Panthers and Jacksonville Jaguars, who did things differently, but yet in the second year, each were one step away from the Super Bowl. A, that gives hope to everybody. B, it upset a lot of the old 28, if you will, feeling that they had twice as many draft picks in the two drafts that they had. And they said, well, wait a minute. Next time, if we do expansion, we got to change the rules. Are they fair in crying foul?
I don't think so. You know, everyone likes to win, and everyone likes to figure out why they couldn't win. But both those teams did outstanding jobs in selecting players. They, in some cases, signed players that were available to everybody, but they were the ones that went after them. The extra draft picks enabled them to catch up with what other clubs had in prior years. So overall, I think it was a good system, and it rewarded the fans who supported expansion to those areas so strongly.
You may have to expand in 1990. You have to have a team in Cleveland one way or the other. It's a two-part question. Expansion first. Cleveland guaranteed, right?
Exactly.
And Los Angeles, you hope soon, someday. Is that expansion? When does the league have to decide an existing team might move, or we definitely have to expand? And could you do just one in 99?
Well, first of all, as you say, we are committed to having the Browns back on the field in Cleveland 99. They'll be there. Expansion versus a relocated team, we hope it can be expansion. We want to keep teams where they are. We're going to look at that next year, and we can make a decision as late as the fall of 98.
For a 99 team.
And have that team up and running in 99. We may have to do some staffing at the league level, do some planning, and then just come in and get it up and running, hopefully as successfully as the two teams you just mentioned.
Seattle is a story that we talked about earlier, and it would be foolish for us to speculate, A, how a vote in the House, Washington legislature will go on Monday, B, how a vote to the people would then go, perhaps, for a stadium. Paul Allen has said he's gone. I mean, he's made it clear that he will not exercise his option July 1 if he doesn't get the bonding or the funds necessary to build a stadium. Is football in deep trouble at that point in Seattle, Commissioner?
Well, I don't want to get to the deep trouble because I think we have a good opportunity this weekend to solve a problem that a lot of people have worked real hard to solve. Paul Allen stepped up to the plate to mix sports. He's made a tremendous investment. You saw it today, 2 picks in the first 6 in this draft. But this is really the last chance. If it doesn't get done this weekend, if the House doesn't do what the Senate up in Washington did, we're going to be back in the tunnel with no light at the end.
Houston, they're still in limbo, aren't they? Do they go to Tennessee this year? Do they play in Houston? When does that have to get decided, and what do you see happening there?
Well, we've been trying to get that resolved in the last couple of weeks, and I think it should be resolved. They should be in Tennessee this year so that Houston and all the NFL fans in that area can get on with planning the future. Right now, we're still focused on the past. There's recrimination. To some extent, there's indifference. It's not good for anybody, and least of all for the fans in Houston.
But you're not sure? I mean, there's no timetable. It has to be done by
No timetable right now. People are working on it. Bud Adams has been working on it. I've been in conversations with people in Houston, including Judge Eccles, who's been very positive there, the county executive, trying to set some goals for the future instead of clinging to the past.
I know you pretty well, and I think I can say that if not the league, then you were a little bit embarrassed by, and we were reminded this week with the Jackie Robinson baseball celebration, that there were 11 head coaching changes this last year in the NFL. None of those jobs went to black coaches. Not only didn't they go, it doesn't appear that anyone other than Emmett Thomas had a couple of serious interviews. Embarrassed, maybe, obviously cause of concern. What can the league do about this? You can't tell someone who to hire, but yet it's not the way to go, is it?
Well, I would say cause for concern, yes. No embarrassment. Let's face it, the coaches who were hired are outstanding coaches. Nobody has to make any excuses for people like Mike Ditka, Dick Vermeil, and